Okay, so in this video, section 2.4, primarily it's composition of functions, and so it's just operations with functions is specifically what we're going to talk about in this video here. And so that's just adding, subtracting, multiplying. So if we look at this here, we have our different rules and properties. And so basically this notation is new to us. And if you looked at the previous videos, you'll see just the difference between using y or f of x. And just saying f of x is one equation, this is a different equation. We're just adding them together. So if I have f plus g, where x is the variable, it's the same thing as just adding these two guys together. We look at difference, so the only change is that we have a subtraction of two equations, and so we just subtract two equations. This circle is filled in. This means multiplication, so we're just going to multiply the two terms, which you've done tons of. And the other here is dividing, so if we have f over g of some x, we just take our two equations and divide them. The bottom cannot equal 0. That would be undefined. So now with this, we're going to look at these two functions. We're going to look at two examples. The first time we do it, we're going to go ahead and add them. The second time, we're going to subtract it. We're going to get two different answers. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this one first. And we have the statement f plus g of x. So we have some function with respect to x, so x is the variable. And that's the same as taking our f of x plus our g of x. Okay? So f of x is 4x squared plus 6x minus 9 plus 6x squared minus x plus 2. I put it in parentheses because if there's a negative on the outside, we have opposites. And now it's just as simple as combining like terms. So I have my x squareds, I have my x's, and I have my constants. So 4x squared plus 6x squared, that's 10x squared. So I've used this guy and this guy. I have a 6x and a negative x, so adding those two guys is 5x. And then a negative 9 and a positive 2 is a negative 7. And that's my final answer. And notice that I am writing it with exponents in descending order from largest to smallest. Okay? And the next one that we're going to do is subtracting these two. And this is where you just need to be careful. So f minus g of x is just telling you to subtract the two equations. And g is the second one, so we're subtracting that last. And this is where parentheses are important, because we'll notice here that we'll notice here that when I subtract, I'm subtracting the whole term. So I put a parentheses around this guy, and then I know to change my sign. So I'm going to change this to a plus and make everything opposite. Now that's a minus. And now as I go through this, I have a 4x squared minus 6x. So 4 minus 6 is a negative 2x squared. Next I have a 6x plus an x, so that gives me a positive 7x. Negative 9 and a negative 2, that gives me a negative 11. And that's how I'm going to add functions.